Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I got another drone to show you today. I have the Potensic Atom drone. Now, we've already looked at the Atom SE. I don't know if you remember that review. That drone did not have a 3-axis gimbal. This one does, so I expect improved performance from the video camera with this drone. Now, this is a sub 250 gram drone. It has a lot of features on it, so I'm really anxious to get this one out and try it out. Let me pull it out of the box here and we'll show you what's in there. Okay, one of the things that Potensic does a real good job with is their instructions. So right on top of the box, when you open it up, you got a quick start guide, a guide to the parallel charging hub, and then a warning page. And this warning page is it's pretty good. It shows a lot of common mistakes that people make with drones and tells you how to do it right. I think what they understand is there's a lot of people that are going to buy this drone, that it's going to be their very first drone. So it's good that they include that kind of documentation. And interestingly enough, there's an owner's manual for the charge hub. I don't see a full-size owner's manual, or at least it wasn't on the top. Maybe we'll find one as we open up the bag here. If not, let me tell you what I do. I always go out on the website and download a PDF version of the owner's manual. Trust me, it's way easier to read than trying to leaf through one of these manuals, but they do a pretty good job. So I had to double check. This is the deluxe kit that comes with 3 batteries, similar to a Flymore combo that we would get with DJI, and indeed Potensic calls it a Flymore combo. So this is a full kit with all the batteries, etc. And yeah, let's just start unzipping here and see what we can find. There's a pocket in the very front, and I thought, well, maybe there'd be a manual or something in there. There's not. This is a really well-made little case. In fact, a little bag. I should show you this. It's I almost called it corduroy because it has that vertical feel to it, but it's not corduroy. But as you can see, it's got some D-rings to attach a strap if you want, and then these little pockets on the side, so see-through pockets. But anyway, enough of that business. Let's open it up. And there you go. Oh boy, I can tell there's a bunch of stuff on the top here. We'll look at that in a minute. So what do we got? There's a strap. We won't pull that all the way out of the bag. So the Potensic Atom comes with a charge adapter here, and as you may recall, the new DJI drones do not. So I'm glad that they included that. I like having the full kit in the bag. And here is the charge hub with all 3 batteries in it. Very straightforward. Let's push the button here and see if there's any charge on any of them. There isn't. Typically, you've got to give them a charge once and wake the batteries up. They're in sleep mode. And yeah, there's where you would plug in that barrel charger. It looks like you have a USB-A out so that you could charge the controller. And let's see how easy these guys, yeah, they just pull right out. So as you can see, there's the connections right there, and they just slide right in. So nothing to it. And this looks familiar. This is very similar to the controller with the Potensic Atom SE. Your antenna just fold up like that, and I like keeping them at a 45-degree angle. You point the flat part of the antenna towards the drone. Your mobile device fits in between here, and then your OTG cable, USB-C there, and I'm using a iPhone 15, so it'll be USB-C on the other end, and the phone will just be in the middle there and plugged into it. And then you've got holders here for your gimbal sticks that just screw right in there. And yeah, then we've got a thumb wheel here, or a finger wheel to adjust the angle of the camera. Press to record, press to take a picture. Yeah, this is return to home and pause, and this is the on-off button here. And again, this guy will need to get charged up. And there's the little drone itself. It's a very familiar form factor. Lots of stuff to peel off here, so I'm not going to peel it all off here for the camera, but We can see the camera with the 3-axis gimbal under there, and there's lots of foam and everything holding it in place. They did a really good job of packaging here. Even the individual props have plastic over them, so we'll mess around with that a little bit. And it does include, looks like it came with a TF card, so we will use that. It's a Lexar card, so that's a good high quality SD card. And obviously the battery slides in right there, and you can see the contacts. On the bottom, time of flight sensors and an optical flow sensor. So this guy ought to be pretty good. I see we got a light on the back here as well. And on-off switch is on the battery, I'm sure. No, I was wrong. The on-off switch is right here. So let me get this thing unwrapped and take all the goodies off of it, then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I got all the stickers and everything off the drone, and I grabbed a battery so we could show how it slides in. This is a 2330 milliamp hour battery, and I think they said 32-minute flight time, something like that. So the battery is just going to slide in the back. You'll hear the click, and it's in there. And then to get it out, to remove the battery, you'd press down there and just simply pull. And again, we showed where the TF card goes, or the micro SD card. There is that 3-axis gimbal, and you know, that's a very humble-looking little camera on there, but we'll see how well it does. Mainly, you know, we just want to get some decent stabilized video. And again, I was showing you where the on-off button is. It's right there, and then the 4 lights. So let's see what else is in this bag. So in this zippered compartment, I fully expect to find spare props, etc. in here. And yeah, there are screws, prop screws, and a screwdriver. Bunch of spare props, and you have a USB-A to USB-C cord. Aha, okay, there is the owner's manual. Well, disclaimer and safety instructions. So, you know what? I'm not sure that's the owner's manual. I'm not going to pull that out of there. Again, I suggest you go on their website, the Potensic website, and download a PDF version. And then here are some more prop blades. And oh, lo and behold, here's the OTG cables. Now, these are the cables that you use to go from your controller to the mobile device. So if you need a lightning cable, there's lightning. And then here's USB-C to USB-C. This is the one I'll use. So this will plug into the controller. Well, in fact, let's just show you. What the heck? What am I doing here? So here's the controller. So the USB-C is going to plug in right there. And then mobile device will plug in right there and just go in between. And that would work with all these. The other cable that they have is a micro USB. So not many people still use those, but they include it. Well, okay, that's the introduction to the Potensic Atom drone. There's one thing left to do. Let's quit messing around. Let's get out in the field and let's get this bird in the air. Hey, okay, I'm out in the field. We're out at Julius Kleiner Memorial Park with the Potensic Atom drone. The main feature on this guy being that 3-axis gimbal on the front. So I am really anxious to see how well that works. The Atom SE that I tested previously flew quite well, had good control, and was a very stable drone, but it did not have this 3-axis gimbal, and that was the downfall. You got that wobbly video. So hopefully this guy will improve on that. And of course, we're interested in video quality, right? How's it look? I'm going to tell you right off the bat, that is a tiny little camera on there. So we'll see how it looks. But really, at this price point, all it needs to be is stable and to look reasonably good. Do we expect it to be the same quality video as you're going to find on a DJI Mini 4 or Mini 3 or even a Mini 2? No. But if it is good enough, that's what we're after. And obviously the drone has to fly reasonably well too. Now, the other issue that I had with the Atom SE was that I had control issues, interference issues, and it turned out to be the DJI wireless mic system. So I have the receiver. I don't have the receiver on the camera right now. In fact, what you're hearing right now is just the microphones on the Action 2 camera. Now, when we fly, because I may step away from the camera, I'll start recording with because the DJI mic system, you can record directly to the mic. Now, is it still transmitting a signal? Would it still interfere with the drone like it did with the Atom SE? I don't know. If it does, we'll land. I'll just take this mic off and put it away, and we'll go from there. But I think we'll be okay. Main reason I got this is so that we got the wind muff on there, and we don't get any wind noise in the audio. But that's too far in the weeds. Let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okay, I got the drone calibrated there. I evidently didn't have the camera on, so we missed part of that. But I calibrated the drone. I had to move the landing pad out over the grass to get it to calibrate. So on the concrete, it just wouldn't do it. Call it rebar or whatever. But anyway, we're looking at the safety menu here. We are in normal speed settings. Units in metric, signal loss, we want it to return to home altitude. We don't need it nearly that high. I do not need the return to home guide. And yeah, 29 meters, we wanted about 35. Potensic, you know, they have to do this because there's people that have never flown a drone before. We do not want a virtual fence. We're gonna crank that baby. We're gonna agree to that. We're gonna distance, we're going to agree to that. Altitude limit now, we don't want to need, that's altitude. We need to be about 120 meters on that. So let's get that down to 120. Slowly but surely. There we are. 117 is plenty. Well, looks like I can click no limit there on the distance, so we did that. Flights enable suggestions in the flight interface. We are going to turn that off. Battery information. Looks like our battery is good, right? So that's it for safety. Is it asking for any calibrations? It's not asking for any. Control, well, we can control the stick speed. We're going to leave all that stuff just as it is for now. And you can click FPV mode if you want, and that just simply locks up the gimbal. And camera, look, we got a lot of adjustments here. But we are going to leave it all on automatic, and I'm going to light up all of the grid lines there. And SD card, we should format that. It came with an SD card. Let's confirm, and we're formatted successful. So that went very, very smoothly. Let's click on the About page, and it's going to give us the app version and the device. So we don't need to. Well, I can show you. Firmware, that'll show you the firmware if that is important. It didn't ask for any updates. And then the model here is Atom. All that did was give us some serial numbers. So we are ready to go. What I didn't see was the camera menu to what resolution. So yeah, I clicked, no, that's an automatic. So we're shooting in 4K 30, and yeah, okay, that's where you adjust it. You just click on that. So 4K 30 is where we want to be, and we want to be in automatic. So let's go ahead and start recording now. So it's telling us takeoff permitted. We got 24 satellites, so that's awesome. Let's go ahead and do an automated takeoff on the app here. And battery buckle pops out correctly. Cause the battery to fail mid-flight. So you know what? I'm going to check that. It seems like Potensic has been through this before, so they're making us walk through, but confirm, yeah, that looks good. So we're going to hit that takeoff again and swipe, maybe. There we go. And it says it'll hover 1.2 meters off the ground, and that's just right about where it is. It's about 1 meter off the ground. Close enough for me. Okay, let's turn it around here. No obstacle avoidance on this guy. And let me tell you what, it's stable, man. This thing is, I'm impressed right off the bat because it is very stable. Let's just bring it right into the camera here. And I can tell you the gimbal looks like it's doing its job. So, I mean, it's moving around a little bit, but not too bad. Let's kind of swing it back and forth a little bit so you can see that little gimbal in action. And it's working like it should. So, yeah, I mean, let's see. Let's experiment with our map here a little bit. Yeah, I like the attitude indicator. So we put it in the attitude indicator. And let's go ahead and do our droney right now. Reverse and up now, reverse and up. Man, this thing is awesome. I'm just telling you, that's perfect. You know, the controls are smooth and nice, and you saw we did a nice straight droney there. No, it was easy not to cross couple or cause any other issues. And man, I'm looking at the screen and this looks really good. The yaw, look at this, nice and smooth. This is the first time I've fired up or flown this drone, folks. So what you see is what you get. And some of the control issues that we saw with the previous version of this drone don't seem to exist here. So first thing we'll do is, I can see, let me tell you, so as I'm doing the yaw, I can see the gimbal catching up a little bit. So, oh, look at that. And then we got, as soon as I stopped, we got a crooked horizon there. But let's see if that levels out. I'm going to go back the other way, see if we can level it out. So that's not uncommon, is when you're doing just a straight yaw like that, that your horizon can get kind of wonky. But yeah, you can see as I turn here, man, look at that horizon. So that's kind of a knock. Let's just fly straight forward and see if it straightens itself out. But yeah, we're really crooked. We're really crooked here. So yeah, that's not good. I'm gonna. So one of the things that you can do, you saw what I did there. I just yawed the other direction and straightened out that gimbal. So let's just fly forward here, and let's see if as I make a slower turn. No, boy, every time I turn, it really tilts that gimbal. Man, yeah. That's an issue. And the other thing that I noticed is how the gimbal is catching up on the yaw too. But yeah, you know, maybe we could do a gimbal calibration and help with that. But that's not good. So what I'll try and do is yaw the other direction. And I had a little bit of break up there. And again, I'm sitting under the picnic shelter, so I'm going to move out where I have more of a straight shot at the drone. I'm out from under the picnic shelter, so we got a straight shot at the drone. We're going at 10 meters per second, which is good speed, but man, that horizon is just horrific. Yeah, that just doesn't work. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's not just tilted a little bit. If it's a little tilted, you can live with it, but boy, when it's that far off, what's the point of having a gimbal? So let's take another look at the camera, and as you can see, as I turn the other way, it kind of straightens it out and it tilts the other direction. So now, as I spin it around, we got to tilt back the other way. Okay, but the video looks pretty darn good, and as we, let's move straight forward here, and it'll get up to 10 meters per second. And yeah, let's go into our speed mode here. And I believe I have to do that in the app. Let's try. And it, you know, look at the, it did straighten out a little bit as we went forward. It's a little bit tilted right now, but not bad. Let's go into control and pitch speed. I'm looking for speed of the drone. Yeah, here it is, speed settings. So let's put it in sport mode, and they're saying that could affect shooting quality. So totally understand that. In other words, you could get gimbal knock when you're flying fast enough. It'll knock that gimbal down to avoid looking up at the drone. So let's go full stick forward in sport mode here, and let's see how fast we can get up to. And it's moving right along. I saw 13 meters per second there for a little bit. And it's probably, yeah, there's 13 meters per second again. It's probably got a little bit of a headwind, but that's pretty quick. I'm telling you, the drone flies great. And look at, we're in sport mode, and our horizon's straightened out. And yeah, I can hear the drone. It's right next to me here. I'm down there in that in front of the picnic shelter down there. Okay, I heard it come to a stop there as I let off. Let's move around, and let's do something else. Let's put it into the slower mode and see if that helps. And as you can see as I'm turning, see the gimbal catch up there every so often. So yeah, you know, it's the gimbal needs it's not quite what you would hope for. So let's go back into the controls here, clicking on those three dots. Let's go into video mode. So video mode is exactly what it describes, and that should help keep so let me see if I can straighten out yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got a pretty straight horizon now as I moved it around. So now in video mode, it should keep a straight horizon for us. Okay, moving straight forward right now. And we'll head over by the pickleball courts. They were pretty busy when I went by there this morning. Moving that direction, and again, as we yaw, we want to see how it looks. I'm telling you, the FPV feed looks really good. What I'm seeing here looks really nice. I'll be anxious to see the video off the SD card. Yeah, there's a couple people playing there. And you know what I got to remember flying this drone is that I don't have obstacle avoidance. I just got done flying the Mini 4 Pro. And you know, you get used to obstacle avoidance on that. So look at this. While we're in video mode, it's holding the horizon well. So that's what I'm going to tell you to do is you're going to want to be, if you want to get decent with a stable horizon, you're going to want to fly in video mode, and it's not going to be as fast. So let's test all that right now. 6 meters per second, which isn't bad. Listen, if you're trying to get cinematic video, you're going to be flying at slower speeds anyway. So let's get down here a little bit lower, and I'll see if I can do an orbit around this fountain right here. And let's see how well that horizon holds. Although it's going to be hard to tell when we're looking down, but let's just do an orbit. And I'm doing a manual orbit here, so the left stick out to the left and the right stick out to the right. And we're just kind of doing a circle around this thing. And it looks like it's holding, I mean, I'm not seeing any drastic changes in the horizon, so looks like it's holding them pretty good. Where are we at battery power? Gosh, we're doing good. 58% battery, and we've been recording for almost 11 minutes. So, boy, man, battery power, this guy's good. Okay, let's pick that camera back up and look at our horizon. And you know what? It's pretty straight. It just barely, just a hint off. So that's going to be the key with this guy. That's what I'm going to tell you. They designed this thing for that gimbal to work perfectly in video mode. So if you're in normal mode or in sport mode, you're not going to expect that gimbal. It just evidently does not have the power to stay straight. Let's just go ahead and do a flyabout here, and we definitely want to test out this camera and see how it looks. And we got some colorful trees here, so some kind of fun things to look at as we get around. I am noticing that as I turn, the gimbal has to catch up. So you don't get exactly, when you're turning like that, you don't get exactly a perfectly stable turn. But look at our horizon now. It's perfect. So that's the key. So that's why we test, right? That's how we discover this stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's go down this street right here. Well, I call it a street. It's basically a walkway in the park. But let's get out to that other, the other sculpture out there. And you know, the other thing that I'm going to tell you is, I mean, control signal has been perfect. I've had no control issues at all with regard to losing connection. And let me tell you, I've flown a lot of drones from here to this exact spot that have issues. So, okay, let's take the opportunity here to do a kind of a little bit of an orbit too. So let's see if I can go. Ooh, boy, that was a little bit too fast. So I'm gonna see if I can keep that sculpture in the center of frame here, or roughly in the center of frame. So we're a little bit off, but I'm getting there. So in this case, I'm going the other way. I'm orbiting the other way. I'm pushing both sticks in. I'm pushing the right stick to the left and the left stick to the right. And that's how we're getting that orbit. I got to tell you guys, I'm pleased with this thing. It's doing great. So okay, so the next thing we want to do is we do want to test the signal strength, right, and see how well this does. I got a little breakup on FPV as soon as I said that, but let me remind you, we're only about 30 meters high and about 500 meters away. So let me pick that camera back up. And oh yeah, I had a little stutter there, so I had a little trouble controlling the camera. So let's grab some altitude and we'll get that signal back. So just as soon as I said that, you know, as soon as I opened my big mouth. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are clicking on those three dots again, and in the safety menu, we're going to go back into sport mode. So we're going to go in top speed. So what I'm going to tell you here is don't expect that gimbal to be perfect in top speed. And I want to head out this direction, and we want to check and see kind of range-wise. You know, this is not a range test, but I definitely want to see how well. So now I am facing the opposite direction from the drone right now. So yeah, and I mean, we lost a couple of bars, but they're coming back. We got good signal. And so I'm down there. You can probably see me standing in front of the picnic shelter there. Oh, I might be blocked by a tree, but I'm standing in front of the picnic shelter. We're going to go right across and go the other direction here and see how well this guy can do. So I can hear the drone above me. Man, it is moving. Holy cow. Yeah, and we've got 37% battery still. It's telling me return altitude is 44 meters. So what it's saying is it's going to stay at its current height. And you saw a little blink at the top of the screen. You know what that is? That's the drone itself. So the drone is tilted forward so far that the camera is looking up. But look at this. We've got a stable horizon even in sport mode here. So, you know, I don't know, you know, maybe what I was seeing earlier there is an anomaly. The horizon looks really good here. We're in top speed. Well, we're going against the wind. Yeah, about, yeah, boy, you can see the wind. You can look at the attitude indicator. Low battery, sport mode exited. So it wants to come home. So let's just go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and do a return to home, and let's do that on the controller. I'm holding that button down right now. And it's in return mode, so at 29% battery. So it's moving right along. It's up to 10 meters per second, so it's got the wind with it. There's a little bit of a breeze. So we've been recording for 16 and a half minutes. So I'm saying that's pretty good. That's the first charge on that battery too. And on its way back here, I see the horizon is tilted just a little bit. So it's worth mentioning. So I guess what I'm telling you is if you want to get, if you're looking for perfect video, and it's kind of straightened out now. If you're looking for perfect video, put this guy, and I'm going to drop the gimbal down as we come back here. Put this guy into video mode, and then you'll have a stable horizon, and it'll work fine. So down we go, and let's see how close it gets to that. We may have to pause here. We don't want it to land in the tree or heck. Yeah, drone is landing. You can adjust by moving the joystick. I wish it would get that little dialog box off the screen there. So it's coming down. I just want to make sure it doesn't hit that tree. I'm going to hit pause here just to make sure. And it didn't. I don't think it was going to, but let's bring it over. Let's get it down further. And we can get it on the pad here, I think. Yeah, let me turn it around and face me. So one of the tests, the camera is looking straight down. Let's see if it picks up the camera as it comes in for a landing. So, you know, what most drones will do is even if you're pointing the camera straight down, as they come in for a landing, and yeah, I'm struggling to get fine enough control to get right over the pad here. So I'm trying, folks. Yeah, look at that. Went too far. There we go. Let's try that straight down on that left stick. And let's see if it picks up the camera. Put it in landing mode. And it does not. So remember that. It's going to keep that camera straight down. I'm going to pick it up right now so that you guys can see where I'm standing here. Slowly. I'd rather have the gimbal move slowly. And you know, that's as far up as that little gimbal will look. Hey, okay, so I got everything shut down, and you know what? I'm pretty pleased with that flight. You know, we had, the biggest thing we saw there was a crooked horizon, right? Well, as soon as I put it in video mode, and it says that, video mode, it was fine. So the only issue I had was flying in normal mode or sport mode where you'd get a crooked horizon. If you want that stable horizon, just put it in video mode. It still flies at 6 meters per second. It looked really good there. So we learned something about the drone, and of course it said video mode, so I should have figured that out right from the very start. However, man, like I said, I haven't looked at the video off of the SD card yet, but I can tell you it sure looked good on the FPV feed. Control-wise, I thought it looked really good. When we flew it out at range, I didn't look to see how far out there we flew, but I would have liked to have gone a little bit further, but we got into a low battery situation, so discretion is always the better part of valor, although even at that, I think we landed at, I don't know, like 20% battery still. So we had plenty of battery. I probably could have gone out further, but particularly your first flight, you don't want to push it. So it all hinges now, when I look at that video off the SD card, and you guys will have already seen it, how well does it look? I'm just going to think it's going to be okay, because what I saw on the FPV feed back to my phone looked pretty darn good. Yeah, I have to say I'm pleased, and no connection issues at all. And I had the drone in situations where I've had connection issues with other drones. As you remember, the Atom SE, the one without the gimbal, I had problems at first getting it out there very far, but this guy was perfect, just fine. And the other, probably the most important thing, you know what the most important thing of this drone is the price point. I'm going to get it down. Well, I'm kind of in a position here where I'm kind of half in the shade, half in the, so that really throws the camera off, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm going to bring the camera closer so we're all in the shade. So there you can see Potensic on the side of the drone. But the price point is the key. So last time I looked on Amazon, this guy was 400 bucks. Hey, okay, I just looked on Amazon so I could make sure I got my numbers right. This drone is $399 on Amazon right now. That's the Fly More kit. So it comes with 3 batteries. Well, you saw that. I did that in the introduction, the bag and all that stuff. So that's a pretty good buy. I mean, so if you compare that, even if you're buying a refurb Mini 2, you're probably more likely around 600 bucks, or the Mini 3, etc. So yeah, a couple $100 difference. Well, heck, the Mini 3 is going to be more than that if you get the Fly More kit, much less the Mini 3 Pro or the Mini 4 Pro. However, you get my point. It's the price point, and this is a full-featured drone. It has a bunch of intelligent flight modes and a bunch of other stuff that it can do. We'll check all that stuff out on a follow-up video, but the purpose of this first flight was just to see how the drone flies and how the video looked. And so far, so good. Like I said, the only knock I can give it is we had that tilted horizon in normal mode and in sport mode. However, you put it in video mode and it was just fine. So that's a good thing. Yeah, all for $400. So not a bad deal. At any rate, I think there is a market for drones at this end of the spectrum, at the lower price spectrum. I guess I would also have to mention the DJI Mini 2 SE, and I know just the single battery version of it is $339. However, it doesn't have all the tracking and intelligent flight modes that and waypoints and things that this little Potensic drone has. So anyway, I'm probably kind of babbling on here, but I'm just thinking of all the competitors for this drone and what they offer in that price point. I guess the bottom line is what I'm saying is I think it's a pretty good value. So yeah, I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And yeah, of course, we'll see you on the next one. The Potensic Atom, pretty good value.